Hi there, it's Nicole, and today I have an idea for mass producing graduation cards. I created this design so that it would work for boys and girls. I have a whole bunch of graduation cards I need this year, and so I combined a bunch of my favorite stamps and dies to create these cards. I'm going to start by using the Balloons, etc. stamp set from Mama Elephant, and I'm going to ink up my balloons using some Lawn Fawn inks. Now, originally I used the lobster ink and the deep sea ink. The deep sea ink ended up being too dark blue. I needed something a little bit more royal blue and not navy blue. So while you're seeing the deep sea ink here, I am going to switch out all of those for the fish tank ink, which is going to be a lot brighter, but same exact design. So I am stamping a bunch of these numbers because I need to write out 2016 on each of my cards. So once I get all of my numbers stamped, I'm going to take the little balloon tails and make sure I'm lining those up right below each of the numbers and stamp those with the coordinating ink. I love the little balloon tails. That really does finish off the whole balloon design. Make sure to clean that off, and I'll switch back over to the lobster red ink as well. Sorry about my head getting in the way. I wanted to make sure I had these lined up. The better you line them up, the much easier it's going to be to take the coordinating balloon, etc. dies and line those up with your numbers. You could definitely die cut them first if you wanted to. I find that's kind of hard with such small images. I just think it kind of makes it a little bit harder to line them up. I prefer to stamp first and then die cut, but you can do it whichever way is the most comfortable for you. This is a great way to do lots of different kinds of cards. You could do birthday cards this way. The design of my card really would work for lots of different occasions. What I'm going to do is go ahead and take all 4 number balloon dies, and then I'm going to run that through my machine until I get all of my numbers die cut. So it's going to be quite a lot of die cutting. I just turned on the TV one evening and did all of these with one go. So my suggestion is to do this very much assembly line style. I went ahead and stamped all my numbers, I die cut all the numbers, and then I will continue to do that for each step of this card. Next, I'm going to take the graduation cap from the Lawn Fawn Hats Off to You stamp set and stamp it several times here and then color it in. I am coloring in some of the caps in blue and some in red. Those just happen to be the high school colors here, so that's what I needed. The blue caps are for the boys, the red are for the girls. I picked about 3 colors per, or 3 shades per color, I guess I want to say, and colored in the caps. Really quick and easy. I went ahead and did one to kind of see if I liked how it looked, and then I'll go ahead and do all the rest. Adding some nice shading with my darkest color and then blending it out. I liked how that looks, so I'm going to go ahead and color in the rest. My base color is B24, my midtone color B26, and my darkest color is B39 for the blue shades. Once I get that base color down, and I did go ahead and color in the little top of the cap there that's holding the tassel on, I'm going to leave the tassels blank for now, and I'll show you what I do once I get all of my graduation caps colored in. I tried to create that look of a multicolored tassel with red and blue. For the reds, I used our 24, 29, and 39, but I'm going to feather in my darkest blue color there, that B39, and then with R39, I'm going to feather in a little bit of red from the other direction to give it that multicolored look. Once all of these are colored, I'm going to take the coordinating Hats Off to You die and die cut all of my graduation caps. Next, going with that assembly line style, I'm taking glossy accents, and I have a fine tip applicator on there. I am taking each of my balloons and applying a thin layer of glossy accents. I let that dry overnight before I moved on to the next step, simply because I had so many of them. Taking a We Are Memory Keepers embossing folder that's kind of this sun ray, I have already trimmed down my white cardstock to 4 1/4 by 5, or 4 inches rather, by 5 1/4. And I'm going to emboss each of those panels. Then I'm going to take some vellum trimmed down to 4 inches wide and die cut some balloons using the cloud borders from Lawn Fawn. I'm simply taking the first one I die cut, lining that up with the straight edge of another piece of vellum, taping that in place, or taping the die in place so that it's the same place every time. Removing that first one and then running it through my machine. Once I have all of that step done, I'm going to move on to my white cloud border. This is where the greeting will actually go. Same exact thing, just using a different cloud border. I'm going to line up my first one that I die cut with the straight edge. Again, it's 4 inches wide. Remove that and then run it through the machine. So I line up the die, post-it tape or use the post-it tape to hold it in place, remove the original, and then run it through the machine. Once I have all of those die cut, I can go ahead and do all of the stamping for the greeting. I am using the Misty stamping tool to make my stamping of the greeting super easy. You can see that congrats didn't get stamped very well, so with the Misty, it will stamp in the exact same place every time. I am stamping a couple of the cards with a red congrats, and then the rest are going to be with the fish tank or the blue ink congrats. This congrats stamp and die set is from Hero Arts. Lots of mixing and matching different brands in this card. I think it's so fun to do. I'm doing the larger script first because the smaller phrase that says on your graduation will be stamped in black ink under each of these in the exact same place. So you want to have all the congrats first. Then I'm lining up the rest of the phrase, figuring out the best placement for that on my Misty. Once I have it lined up, I am going to close the cover, pick up the greetings. I was having a hard time getting them exactly where I wanted them. The great thing about this is you can move it around as many times as you need to. I did stamp the congrats on one of those grid papers for the Misty, inked up my greeting and stamped it on that to make sure I liked it and that it lined up before I committed to stamping it on my actual project. Again, you can see with the Misty, it's going to be the exact same place every single time. Makes it so super quick and easy to create multiple cards with similar images or greetings. Once all of my greetings are stamped, I'm going to go ahead and create some balloon strings as well for my balloons there. So I'm using the multi-medium from Ranger, squirting just a little dab of that on the back of each of my balloon numbers. Then I have a roll of string here, and I'm just going to glue a little piece of string into each of these, leaving a pretty long tail. I can always trim those off later. So you can see I have a huge roll of string. It's from Hobby Lobby. I've had it for many years and have never run out. But it's a nice thin string, and it's going to work great for these balloon strings. I'm going to do this for all of those numbers. So there's quite a few of them. Again, I'm going to let that glue dry all the way. I went and did something else. I think I cooked supper or something like that. So they sat for a really long time, so that glue had plenty of time to be really secure before I went ahead and assembled the entire card. And my multi-medium is running out, so I'm really having to squeeze it kind of hard. Again, it has a fine tip applicator on it, which makes placement of the glue much, much easier. I'm ready to start assembling all the cards. Now I have all of my elements. Starting with the numbers, with the balloon, those great balloon string tails, I'm going to attach these and a graduation cap using some Thermoweb Zots Bling glue dots. Once I have all 4 numbers attached to that embossed background, I can trim the ends of the strings. Just grab my scissors and trim off the excess there, because those are going to be hidden behind my next layer. So the vellum cloud layer, I'm going to attach some foam adhesive, pull off the backing paper. That's going to secure those balloon strings to my card base, so I don't have to worry about them going anywhere. Attach the white cloud layer with the greeting on top of that. And I'm going to continue that for each of my card panels. So I'm going to start with the embossed panel, attach all of my numbers and the graduation cap. I did start with a 0 on each of these so that I could get the graduation cap placement first and then move on to the rest of the numbers. And the bling glue dots make it really easy. There's no liquid glue mess. And they're a nice strong adhesive, so they're going to hold all of those elements down really well. I kept those balloon strings long so that I could trim them however I needed to. The foam adhesive on the back of the vellum again. Remove that backing paper, and that is what's going to secure the balloon strings to the card. Attach the white cloud layer, and I'll do that for all the rest. I will attach each of these panels to a white card base. And then I'm going to take that multi-medium again. And again, mine is running out of glue, so I'm really having to squeeze hard to get some glue out of it. But I'm going to squirt little dabs of glue all over my card base, and then take some pretty pink Posh mini silver star confetti and attach those all over, so it kind of looks like an explosion of star confetti with those fun balloons and the graduation cap. I'm going to do this for each of the cards. After I did all my gluing, I just laid them all out on the table and let them dry. The multi-medium dries really quickly. And that is it for my graduation cards for 2016. I hope this has inspired you or given you some ideas for creating your own graduation cards for whatever grad you know, whether it's college, high school, whatever it might be. This would also work great for another occasion if you just switch up that graduation cap for something else. Thanks for watching this video showcasing graduation cards. The supplies I've used are listed and linked below the video on YouTube. Please subscribe for weekly card making and stamping videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.